closest location to you and review the instructions. Also, for your own safety, please keep your hands and feet inside the boat at all times. Please refrain from standing on the seats or the metal boxes on the deck of the boat. Please keep youngsters off all railings. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to speak to one of our crew members. As we approach this iconic wonder, we once again remind you that for your own safety, please keep hands and feet inside the boat and do not stand on the seats or the...
Okay. Tastings are $30. For a glass of
Nesse trecho desse mais arborizado, são 302
Sim, os prédios. Eu nunca vi uma vez tudo de vidro. Cada lâmpada, assim, nem em São Paulo tem esses prédios. Peraí. Olha pra aí.
Esse mais cedo. E agora começa a refletir a luz dentro, começa a refletir lá fora. Porque lá fora.